Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of The Sims 2 Astrolegacy Challenge. Today, to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of this series, I have called upon my co-host of KH Wednesdays, Seth, to pin us a recap of the series' little story so far, Generations 1 through 6. The Sims 2 Astrolegacy Challenge, as we all know and love, is a 12-generation legacy challenge where each generation is headed by an heir with one of the 12 unique zodiac signs. This recap video should serve as a little reminder for those of us who have been on the 2-year, 100-episode-plus journey, or serve as an entryway for anyone looking to jump in here at the midway point. Please enjoy, and big thank you to Seth once again for writing this recap for us. In the long-distant In the long-distant past of 2022, Ramsey's Astrolegacy was born, forever changing the sleepy seaside town of Belladonna Cove. A strong and fiercely independent Aries, she was born into adulthood and began a bloodline that would stretch generations into the future. Sports stars, politicians, artists, dancers, and career criminals would all spring forth from her loins as the Astrolegacy family grew their fortune and took over Belladonna Cove. But how did this powerhouse family come to be? What were the triumphs and tragedies they experienced along the way? Would Ramsey's Astrolegacy's bloodline survive long enough to birth an heir in each astrological sign? Only the stars know for sure. For the rest of you, it's been a long journey filled with twists and turns that we've experienced week by week, hour by hour, over these last 2 years. And in case you don't have time for all that, here's a recap of what's been going on in Hand-Drawn TV's Astrolegacy Challenge. Ramsey's moves into the largest lot in Belladonna Cove and establishes herself as a struggling socialite, hosting poorly attended parties and gatherings. Ramsey's immediately enters love-hate relationships with gal about town Samantha Cordial and friend of Diane. Ramsey struggles with love and friendships and reaches the true rock bottom of desperation, adopting pets. She gets a puppy dog named Bandit and a puppy human named Jason Cleveland. Also, there's a genie. As Ramsey's relentlessly attempts to make friends at Belladonna Cove, she meets a woman named Sierra, a Leo aspiring to achieve the highest highs of the military. Curiously, Sierra had decided that the best way to reach the peak of the military hierarchy is to become a police officer. This does not go well. Meeting at the chessboards, Sierra and Ramsey's become engaged in a fierce struggle of wits, before becoming engaged in a fierce struggle of matrimony. The two wed in a moderately well-received ceremony. Tragically, Sierra is horrifically injured when Ramsey shoves her down onto the sharp points of their white picket fence. Sierra eventually recovers from her gaping chest wound, and the two go on to embrace the struggles of married life, flammable Christmas trees, and soon, motherhood. The two decide to adopt a baby girl, underestimating the urgent need for willing parents in Belladonna Cove. The baby is brought to the Astrolegacy house immediately and placed directly into a pile of cockroaches until the mothers-to-be got home from work hours later. So begins the auspicious life of Grisabella Astrolegacy, Capricorn heir of the 2nd generation of the Astrolegacy family. Grisabella rises from her humble and gross beginnings into a relatively well-adjusted child despite the neglect of her parents. Ramsey's and Sierra lose interest in motherhood, leaving both Bandit and Grisabella to fend for themselves as the mothers begin a torrid love affair, woohooing anywhere and everywhere they could, as they push to achieve Ramsey's lifetime aspiration of 50 dream dates. To help keep up the house while Ramsey's and Sierra tend to their baser needs, the couple hire a maid named Amber. Let's give it up for Amber, everyone. Inspired by the intense cardio she experiences while keeping Sierra satisfied, Ramsey's enters the dance career. Sierra belatedly realizes that if she wanted to become a general, she should probably join the military. Ramsey's and Sierra realize that if they send Grisabella to private school, they would have more time to woohoo in the car. To accomplish this goal, the two end up deleting a headmaster, but luckily there's more, and Grisabella gets accepted into private school. Sierra reveals her interest in polyamory soon after her wedding to Ramsey's, and begins striking out on her own to achieve some extramarital affairs with friend of Diane. Ramsey's and Sierra attempt to reconcile their marriage in the love tub, but God intervenes. Rather than learn a valuable lesson about the electrical conductivity of water, Sierra takes this as a sign to begin the next phase of her life as a blonde bad bitch, while Ramsey's just kind of lets the marriage die and gives up on her dreams of intimacy. Grisabella finally gets away from this family and begins working on her drama degree at Sim State University, aspiring to pick up where Ramsey's left off in the dance career. Grisabella has a strong academic career in college, making the dean's list multiple times, while having no hobbies, no friends, and no woohoo. Despite these struggles, Grisabella graduates with her dance degree with the help of her childhood friend and soon-to-be abandoned college roommate Vassal. Grisabella returns to the Astrolegacy house as a full adult, adopts and kills Grisabirdie, gets a cat, and meets her future husband while on a date with a different man. One day later, Spencer Gurgis and Grisabella Astrolegacy get married. Sierra and Ramsey's didn't go to the wedding, and then they died. Grisabella and Spencer soothe their sadness over the death of Grisabella's parents by making babies and adopting pets. Before long, the Astrolegacies had grown to 6 members: Grisabella, Spencer, Ash, Boo, and new children Seth and Midnight, living alongside the ghosts of Ramses and Sierra. Seth and Midnight would go on to engage in an epic struggle to inherit the family line. Spencer becomes a stay-at-home dad, and Grisabella carries on her mother's legacy in dance. Despite promotions, bonuses, and Ash and Boo's surprisingly gainful employment, the family continues to remain poor by investing all of their money in home renovations and a cemetery. The boys enter private school without having to kill a headmaster, and Seth enjoys a brief friendship with a young boy named Justus Player. Seth becomes a major film buff after his introduction to Werewolf, but the children at school immediately identify him as a poser. Meanwhile, Midnight refused to get with the program until Grisabella helps him build a little birdhouse in his soul by building him a little dollhouse in his room. That's the push that Midnight needs to turn his life around, meeting his childhood sweetheart Autumn Barr, while Seth gets closer to his sweetheart Christy Oates. In the blink of an eye, it's time for the gang to go off to college, returning to Grisabella's alma mater, Sim State University. While the gang scrambles to choose a degree, Christy, who grew up too fast, scrambles to decide what to do with her life. After careful reflection and a fiery trip to the Renew You Senso orb, she discovers the true meaning of life: grilled cheese. The 4 rocket through college with no issue except for all the jars of dead bugs and that guy that they kill. The 4 pull and bang through their grades because this is a parallel universe where grades in college matter, and the couples get engaged despite a few touches of infidelity here and there. Everyone graduates on the dean's list, and all their friends, family, and people they saw once get together for a series of big graduation/watching that guy die parties, which starts strong but ends with Autumn graduating alone and that guy not dying. Seth attempts to grow up into a member of ZZ Top, but God intervenes. One tragic timeline reset later, and the 4 graduate a second time off camera. The gang returns home, and the house immediately explodes into chaos as everyone starts playing different jazz music at the same time. After an existential window-based remodel crisis, the family throws a party to celebrate Spencer and Grisabella's golden anniversary, which kills their cat. The Astrolegacians overcompensate for their grief and adopt 3 more pets, buy a mountain, and marry off Midnight and Amber before fleeing the mountain because they ran out of money. Spencer wins a cook-off to earn money for Seth and Christy's wedding. The 2 get married on the island, which used to hold their ancestors' graves, and everyone was too busy giving a toast in the kitchen to attend. A renovation is attempted, but no one has any money, and the family gets grounded. The kids finally get jobs months after graduating from college, except for Christy, who chooses death over labor. Unfortunately for her, Seth beats death at a game of chance, and she gets a job too. The gang continues working towards their goal of 50,000 simoleons. A lot of their pets die, and the contest finally comes to an end as Seth is appointed heir of the 3rd generation of the Astrolegacy family. Midnight is released to live his own life as a spare with his criminal wife Autumn. Before the spares are booted from the house, Christy and Autumn give birth to their children, Madeline and Belphegor, and Grisabella decides she doesn't want to help raise the grandkids. Spencer, and then dies in front of Madeline, which they do not handle well. It'll probably be fine, though. There probably won't be long-term ramifications to this. Generation 3 renovates their house into a giant modern mansion to suit Seth's Aquarius sensibilities. Christy tries to die a second time, but still can't manage to get away from this family, so she decides to help fill the mansion by getting pregnant. Aspiring feminist Seth decides he wants to help too, so he also gets pregnant. The kids are born: Storm, the redheaded middle child, and Mint, the young rebellious alien. Storm tragically is born with a terrible birth defect. She's just like Madeline. The first of many butlers is hired, and then fired, and then the family brings Amber into the home to socialize for the first time in 3 generations. Lifelong feminist Seth achieves his lifetime goal of becoming education minister after founding a new sorority. Storm is officially diagnosed with firstborn syndrome, which luckily is a curable ailment. She is spared the terrible fate of being like Madeline and becomes a sloppy, lazy, nice Libra to a resounding meh. The kids all grow up together and bond as they grow into their personalities. Madeline, the uncultured fashion vlogger flop who loves Art Deco. Storm, the quiet Libra who doesn't like to be noticed or a big deal, a personality trait that does not last through her entire life. Mint, the mean Gemini, daddy's favorite and bad boy jock. Seth and Christy enter their Mr. and Mrs. Claus era, if Mr. Claus was a greasy bowler, celebrating their elderdom with a party so boring the police showed up to end it. In elderhood, Seth retires and finally sets up the skilling bookshelf that his school gave him, and Christy opens up a grilled cheese restaurant 10 feet from the family graveyard, which explains the haunted staircase. On opening night, the whole family helps out, and I mean the whole family. The kids prep for college, Seth tries to follow in Sierra's footsteps, and a squirrel drops in to wish the kids well on their college adventures. Before they head out, Mint has a meet cute with Cara Pistachio in a way that only Mint could, and Madeline tries their best. In a rare win for Madeline, they manage to sell Salt, a dog who has been dying for 15 episodes, for 900 simoleons to an unsuspecting Gretchen. Goodbye, Salt! While waiting for Seth to get smote by God, Christy eats her 200th grilled cheese. The kids ship off to Sim State University, flat broke because they lost all their scholarships the episode before. As a result, they move in with Vassal, who has been holding down the fort alone since Grisabella graduated. They turn this tiny house into the House of Ha, declare their majors, and then immediately kick Vassal out. Storm strikes out so hard she has a mental breakdown. She rallies and sets her sights on their long long-suffering family maid, Amber. The kids discover a source of infinite pizza and use it to ruin everyone's life. Cousin Belphegor Gurgis, the now grown-up daughter of Midnight and Autumn, joins the crew at college. Kara Pistachio joins the frat house too, while Gretchen hangs around and mostly does chores. Mint and Kara get engaged after Mint realizes he can't do better. Mint almost wahoos himself to death, and Madeline becomes so desperate for love that they call over a professional matchmaker, much to the surprise of Gretchen, who Madeline was apparently dating. They go on a bad date that they paid $60 for directly in front of Gretchen, which is pretty much the end of that for Madeline's lifetime. Kara becomes a DJ and plays the kids off to graduation. Mint, Storm, and Madeline all graduate and return to Belladonna Cove, leaving Cousin Belphegor and Kara Pistachio behind. Storm and Amber get engaged and then get married in a classic Astrolegacy flop wedding. Story progression mod is installed, to mixed results. After a few false starts and some minor incest, Mint and Kara Pistachio finally get married. Madeline tries the matchmaker again, paying the maximum amounts to ensure a perfect match. This does not go well. Madeline flops so hard that they are evicted from the Astrolegacy house. Also, there's a genie. After a brief foray into a parallel universe featuring the extremely popular and well-received baby girl Gurgis, the family gets back on track, hosting a race between Storm and Mint to produce a water-signed baby. Whichever couple conceives a water baby next will become the 4th generation's heir to the Astro Gurgis name, while the loser still ends up better off than Madeline. The race immediately ends with Storm and Amber's adoption of Jesse, Scorpio heir. Seth dies, but since he didn't do it directly in front of a baby, it's not a major event. Mint and Kara's entry into the competition, Lasagna, grows up to be a weird-looking Gemini. Dodging the allegations that she simply bought a child to win the baby race, Storm is chosen as the Generation 4 heir to the Astrolegacy fortune. Following in Seth's footsteps, Christy also dies off camera. Storm's first power move as Astro Matriarch is to enter the Soccer Hall of Fame. Jesse's birthday is missed while Amber is trying and failing to cheat on Storm. The gang bothers to stick around for Lasagna's birthday, where she grows into a weird-looking teen. Mint becomes a lounge singer and Kara gets canceled. Kara gets her job back, but God intervenes. Oh no. It's back. I'm so happy that Kara got back on that politics horse. And hopefully we'll get a promotion shortly. Hopefully we can fully redeem her. Oh my God, Kara, we're going to redeem you today! We save now. Back in the Prime timeline, Kara gets her job back again and is tested by God again and again. This time she does not falter. She sticks to her convictions, holds the guilty accountable, and puts her cardio skills to good use in order to finally become the mayor of SimCity. The other members of the Astro Gurgis family were also doing things during all of this. After a horrifying realization that the timelines are merging, Jesse and Lasagna choose to attend La Fiesta Tech so they can avoid all that. Jessie realizes she has so much love to share and begins several tender romances, finding love on an outing with an extremely contentious group of olds. However, after this new love turns south, Jessie resolves to share her love in the time-tested traditional college way, blinking her way across campus. While this is happening, Lasagna finds true love at the return of an old family friend, Little Justus Player, Seth's childhood pal. Don't think too much about how much time has passed. Jessie finally gets out of the hot tub for 3 seconds so Lasagna can get wet and then get wed, or at least get engaged. At the club, Lasagna helps set the mood so Jessie can meet a dark, mysterious vampire named Contessa Amber Raynor. The two laugh and flirt until sun rises, when Contessa has to make a hasty escape, but she'll be back. Also, the kids meet a girl named Gina, who quickly goes downhill, and then weirdly uphill, and then very quickly downhill again. Carrying on the proud Astrolegacy college tradition of indeterminately successful murder. Jessie graduates and attempts to return home, but instead discovers that her attempts are in vain. Gina's final act is to trap Jessie in a hellish purgatory, stuck at La Fiesta Tech forever, unable to escape or satisfy her needs, dooming her to an excruciatingly slow death with nothing but her partner in crime, Lasagna, and Gina's revengeful spirit for company. Luckily, this is a video game, so we just reloaded the save and things were fine. Lasagna graduates without a hitch, and everyone returns back to the Libra mansion to live out the next stages of their lives. Also, Gina dies anyway. Back at the house after a successful education, Jessie sets the pool house on fire, and Lasagna and Justus get married in an unusually successful wedding. Mint and Kara move out, and Jessie honors Mint's legacy by woohooing in the hot tub so hard she almost dies. As she works towards her lifetime goal, Jessie's body count rises as well as the series' body count. Jessie heads to the Swift and Thrift Mini Mart, the family salon adultery hub, for the final push towards achieving her dream. With that out of the way, Jessie paints the first of many incredible pictures and becomes pregnant thanks to sperm donor Ronald. Yes! Amber begins to reveal her master plan to destroy the Astro Gurgis family in revenge for countless years of cleaning their house and only receiving one tip. In the lead up to the anniversary Libra Flower Gala, Amber reveals to Storm that she's been cheating with the new family maid. Storm tries to pretend not to be upset, so Amber continues to act out. This finally breaks Storm. Turns out that's all Amber needed. Now that Amber's got it out of her system, she and Storm make up. The party starts off in classic Astrolegacy fashion. Can't do that, Jessie, no! And a good time is had by all. Jessie gives birth to baby Jason, an ineligible Aries. As is tradition in the Astrolegacy house, as the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away, Amber farts and dies. Jessie gives birth to twins, welcoming babies Penny, another ineligible Aries, and Star, an eligible Pisces, to the world. Jason is immediately pressed into service as mother. Jason, we need your help. No, Jason is asleep. It's 5 a.m. Well, he's fully slept up. Jason, can he not pick up a baby? Oh my god, Jason needs to grow up faster, I guess. Well, Lasagna welcomes baby Carnage to the world. The Lord hath giveth 3 times, and now it was time to taketh away. Storm calls the entire family into the nursery for a family meeting.
This has done me in. This has made me so fucking mad. I am not, don't even give Storm a fucking montage. Don't even give her a montage. We had to deal with Storm for so long. I don't ever want to see her ass again. I don't want to have to make a montage. She just ruined our grandson and our future heir's whole life. Like, talk about selfish piece of shit. Can anyone in the comments below weigh in? If you know a Libra, if you are a Libra,
Jesse reignites an old flame with the Contessa. The family lot is bulldozed and built anew to suit Scorpio tendencies. The new atmosphere sets the mood just right for the Contessa to turn Jesse into a being of the night. Off camera, of course. Jesse tells the Contessa that she wants them to spend the rest of their undead lives together, and the two get engaged. While Jesse is off doing vampire things, the rest of the family continues their lives. Jason is forced to be not the stepmom, but the mom who stepped up. Kara and Mint are off doing their own thing, enjoying being the king and queen of Belladonna Cove. Madeline, true to form, did nothing except adopt the world's most poorly trained dog. Madeline finds, loses, and finds the love of his life, a poor woman named Jody who pretends to be rich and then dies without accomplishing their lifetime goal. Sad. Anyway, Belphegor adopted a couple dogs, gave birth to Lindsay and Philip, and supported her working actor husband, Sean. She dies getting a post-coitus snack. Back on the main lot, Vampire Amber, Vamber, and Vampire Jesse, the Jesse, get married in a quiet, private nighttime ceremony. It turns out the Contessa is loaded. Jason has an extremely loud birthday party, and Lasagna becomes the law. Also, there isn't a genie. The family rings in the new year with Father Time, who suddenly becomes Baby Time, just an unsupervised toddler on the street corner. This gives Jessie baby on the brain, so she gives birth to a disappointingly human baby, Noodle. This gives Jessie human on the brain, so she becomes a human. The Countess becomes the Countful and joins her. Countess? More like Countess. Noodle ages up into an eligible Virgo, putting him in competition with Star for heir to the throne. Human Contessa begins a vicious crusade against technology. The family graveyard becomes an art gallery for Jesse's paintings, which turns out to be wildly successful. Jason sets the mood playing piano, which helps him meet and woo Tara de Bateau. They share a tender kiss as Jason finds his true love. Here's hoping for a long and successful relationship for these two very single people. Meanwhile, Star hurriedly hits things off with Steffi Cordial, ineligible pre-made relative of old frenemy Samantha Cordial, and Penny searches for romance among the stars, which luckily she doesn't find because she's 14. Jesse moves the gallery to Harem, where Star learns breakdancing and Jason meets his backup girl, just in case anything weird or unexpected happens with Tara, which would certainly be a unique event that wouldn't happen again with Sally. Penny loads up on scholarships and heads off to college, and Star follows shortly after. Jesse and the Contessa celebrate being semi-empty nesters with a shopping spree and a very daring public date despite Jesse's promiscuous past. This does not go well. Noodle grows up during Jesse and Contessa's anniversary party and becomes a sweater-vested preppy Virgo who disappointingly dreams to follow in Grisabella's footsteps as a ballet dancer. Jason seals the deal with Tara in the car and moves Tara away from her husband. Luckily, he has Sally as a backup. Noodle gets abducted by aliens, but luckily doesn't end up pregnant because he's 14. He heads off to join Star and Penny in college. Jason continues following in Madeline's unlucky clown-sized footsteps and contacts the matchmaker. This does not go well. Jason ends things with Tara and her potentially pro-swinging husband and returns to the lot dejected and alone. Off at Académie Les Tours, the prestigious university the Astrolegacyans attend, the kids grew up and got to work. Star majored in biology to earn a cowplant, and Carnage gets a look and majors in psychology to try to figure out why he got that look. Penny majors in philosophy, and Noodle becomes a theatrical villain. Star mostly just vibes, and Penny and Noodle crack the books and skill up. Carnage becomes the big man on campus and throws a series of extremely popular, well-attended parties. However, his bad luck with romance leads him to make some questionable choices. The kids make great grades, and Jason hovers around the house as much as he can. This does not go well. Star's vibes start to turn as the trauma of seeing Storm die begins to surface, and Noodle really hits his stride. Penny does pretty well for herself except for the whole incest thing. Jason continues to have a bad time. Also, there's a genie. The family adopts and kills Robertio, and in the blink of an eye, it's time for graduation. The gang moves back home to begin their adulthoods, Noodle and Star competing to be chosen as the next Astro heir, while Penny and Jason get to vibe this time. Jesse gets a hot new look and a hot new gallery. Star, Noodle, and Carnage go on pussy patrol. This does not go well. Noodle and Star continue to compete for the same women until Star hits it off with Ariana Hart. However, she has to poop, so she leaves Star alone at dinner. Luckily, Star is trained for this situation and manages to seal the deal at the family's newly renovated beachside mansion. Tensions rise as the vacation drags on. Ariana once again leaves early, while Star and Jason finally have it out with their absentee mothers. The family returns home and after some soul searching, comes together to make some difficult decisions. Despite Noodle being the most interesting, smart, and powerful Sim, his lifetime aspiration is too boring to win Jesse's favor, and he is demoted to spare. Jason and Penny, both ineligible from birth, are moved out to start their own adventures. Penny hoping to become a werewolf, and Jason hoping to break the cycle of parental neglect by becoming a single mother of 3. This leaves Star as the heir to Generation 6 of the Astrolegacy family. Star locks Ariana down quick and the family decides to hold a wedding while Penny is out at work. Tragedy is averted and Star and Ariana marry in a classic, completely unattended Astroflopacy wedding. This leads to unfortunate discovery that the story progression mod turned Belladonna Cove into the beach from old. However, Star decides that love is love and they celebrate their wedding with 3 rounds in the love tub, setting the stage for the first of many potential Generation 7 heirs. And so, with the births of the twin Piscean Light and Cancerian Cyctony, baby Cancerian Peaches, and Virgo and Andromeda, Generation 7 grew up in an idyllic family life that led them to making insane choices of their own in life due to privilege and hubris. With Cyctony and Peaches aiming to own a cat cafe to raise 20 kittens to adult cats, Andromeda looking to climb to the top of the entertainment career with a robot partner at their side, and also, Light is there too. After an eventful time at college where our family-oriented Cancerians found partners of their own, Peaches with her lesbian-coded relationship with Avery Collin, who got engaged during their first date and hoped to marry off 6 kids, and Cyctony with sad, pathetic little meow meow wifey Cheryl. We returned briefly to the Pisces-led home of Stariana after enjoying their fish-filled victory lap where we overthought, second-guessed, and pointlessly daydreamed in an homage to the sign of Generation 6 before I decided to put our heir Star to sleep. I put our heir Star to sleep 3 times. And so, the stage is set for the next step of the Astrolegacy's family adventure. Who will become the Cancerian heir to Generation 7, Cyctony or Peaches? Will we succeed in raising 20 entire pets in this godforsaken game, or will the cats kill me first? Only the stars know for sure. For the rest of you, I hope you continue watching the Astrolegacy bloodline carry on Ramses' dream of birthing an heir in each astrological sign. Thank you guys so much again for watching. As always, over the past 2 years, your response and support for this series has brought so much joy to me, and I've had such a blast creating this story for and with all of you. Tune in next week to see the big reveal of the Cancerian build and the start of Generation 7. I wanted to include it in this week's episode, but unfortunately I ran out of time and I don't want to rush it. It needs some more time to cook. I want to do justice to our 2 potential Cancerian heir options. But if you like this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have new episodes of the Sims 2 Astrolegacy Challenge every Sim Monday. There's still episodes coming out of Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2 over on Kingdom Hearts Wednesdays, where me and my co-host Seth are working our way through every Kingdom Hearts game in story order. And lastly, go check out Harvest Moon, Spring Year 1, that just came out on the channel as well. Also, don't forget, be sure to tune in this Friday, May 31st at 6 p.m. Central for another fun Spare special live stream. We'll finish up Lasagna and try to decide what spare we might want to focus on next, because now the Generation 6 spares are up for playing, so that'll be super fun. But I'll see you guys then and next week. Bye-bye.